Welcome back to Tactical and Practical. This episode is brought to you by IntelliGems and Postscript. As you know, IntelliGems is the go-to profit optimization resource when it comes to testing on your website, and it's been a huge part of the reason why we're growing the way we are this year and why we're increasing our conversion rate, AOV, and ultimately revenue and profit per site session this year. So if you haven't already, go to IntelliGems.io and tell them I sent you. Postscript is the only SMS platform I trust. And after a lot of hiccups that were on Black Friday, I think it's crystal clear why you should only trust an SMS platform that is first and foremost and primarily an SMS platform. You know, a lot of these other platforms that have come in have tried to do it all. And I think it's clear, and with a lot of things in commerce that are hard to build into, like becoming an SMS platform, I would rather choose a company that is solely focused on delivering SMS better than everyone else in the market, rather than a company that's trying to roll everything up into a one-stop shop kind of platform. It's hard to do it all excellently, but Postscript is doing one thing excellently, and that's why I've trusted them for the last 5 years, and that's why I'll continue to be a happy, satisfied, paying customer who can trust that his campaigns are going to go out on time when I need them the most. So go to postscript.io, let them know I sent you, and start working with an SMS platform that was built to be the best SMS platform in the game. All right. This episode is all about how to align marketing and operations, and something that doesn't get talked about because this isn't a service that agencies or course guys can sell. So no one talks about this, but I want to talk about it because it's one of the most important things I do here, and I think it's one of the most important things that any marketing director, VP, CMO, whatever. I think so much strain can be created in an organization when ops and marketing and finance, but we'll get to finance next episode, but when marketing and ops are not on the same page, everyone feels it, and it sucks. So this episode, I'm going to cover 4 ways that I help align marketing with our operations team at Original Grain. The first thing I want to say is marketing's job is to do what's best for the business. And I think that sometimes get overlooked because early in my career, like I used to, proudly wear selling out of inventory like a badge of honor as the marketing guy. I used to be like, operations can't keep up with me. We're selling out all the time. And I've realized that's not the right way to look at this, right? It's not my job to sell out of inventory as fast as possible. It's my job to sell out of all our inventory at the exact moment it's most beneficial for the business. And I think that marketers just want to see revenue go up or, ROAS go up or whatever it is. But no, what you want is the whole company to win. So 4 things I've done to kind of help us get in a better cadence of choosing when we're going to sell out of everything and making sure that we are, clearing out old stock as fast as possible and make sure that we are working with our supply chain and with our warehouse to complement each other rather than compete with each other. So first thing I'm going to talk about is how to control inventory with ad spend. I forecast, as you guys know, revenue, ad spend, and contribution margin daily for the entire year. I also forecast ad spend and revenue by collection and by SKU for the entire year. Some people might seem like that's overkill, but for us, we have a deep product catalog, and I think it's really important to make sure we have a plan for all of this. Because if there's a certain watch that I know I have to sell, $100,000 worth of, whether that's, in a month or a quarter or a year or whatever. If I have to sell $100K of a certain product, that means I know I can spend, $35K advertising that product alone. And most of the time, marketers don't think like that. Most of the time, they want to spend money on whatever's working the best and whatever is performing well right now, and they'll lean into it all the way. And then you eventually do that and that product sells out, and now you're left with a whole catalog of products that isn't performing well in advertising right now, and you lost the hero that was carrying the whole system. That's a bad spot to be. I've been there in my career, and it sucks. So I make sure to forecast ad spend by collection and by SKU to make sure everything's at least getting its fair share. Everything's at least getting enough of the spotlight to give it a chance to sell as much as we want it to, right? That way we don't get to the end of the quarter and it's like, hey, we still have 100K of this watch. What happened to it? And I look back at our ad account and I'm like, oh, we never really spent money advertising it because we couldn't get it to work. That doesn't happen because it is forecasted that I spend the right amount of money promoting each collection and each SKU. And then if it is performing less efficiently than I would like, well, that's when I can test new creative and test new offers and test the price again and test new messaging. There's a lot of things we can do to improve efficiency, but the constant has to be the ad spend because that's the only thing that can give it the chance of moving. And this is especially true for brands like ours that have a deep product catalog. Now, the second thing I do, because we have this forecasted out by quarter, that means throughout the quarter or month or year, I track the percentage sold through compared to where we're at in the quarter. So if we're halfway through the quarter by revenue, not by days, by revenue, we are 50% of the way through, and I have a watch that's only sold 30% of the way of what it was supposed to sell for that quarter. That's no good. I need to figure out what's going on. I might have to spend more money promoting that SKU or get back into all the marketing tactics that can help efficiency improve. Creative, offers, price testing, CRO. This is something, again, that is really easy to let slip through the cracks, and it's really easy to piss off your COO and your warehouse because you don't want to get to the end of the quarter and have a bunch of inventory left over that you couldn't move at all. So tracking this per percentage is really helpful to making sure everything is moving close to what it's supposed to. And you can kind of control demand from there by either increasing ad spend, decreasing ad spend, increasing or decreasing the price of the product, or any other marketing tactics that can help improve efficiency. So those first two things are kind of all about like making sure everything gets a fair shake, making sure things are getting enough ad spend, and then checking in throughout the quarter to make sure that things are selling the way they are forecasted to. These next two things are about the opposite, about when things are selling too fast, what you can do. So number 3 on here is going to be, you should be either tracking days of inventory or weeks of inventory, depending on your business and your run rate. But you should take the last 7 days or the last 30 days of sale on average, compare that to how many units of that SKU you have on sale, and project when you are going to sell out of that product. I can't recommend doing this early and often throughout the year because way too many times marketing is the last people to hear that like, oh, this product that we're spending a lot of time and energy and money advertising is about to sell out. And then what do we do? I've been through this a bunch and it sucks. Let me also just pause here and say, this is one of the hardest things to do. I think this is what separates good marketers from great executives, is how aligned they can get the whole business. This is something that we have struggled with at times for sure. We have struggled with it for the reason of things selling too fast, which is a good problem to have, but it's a real problem. So you should be tracking days or weeks of inventory or weeks of sale, whatever you want to call it, so that you're not blindsided when a product sells out. There's a time this year where we were about to change the homepage banner with one of our top selling products on it. And that banner was going to go live tomorrow. And that day we sold out of that product. And I didn't have my eyes on it. And that was a huge drop ball by me. But now me and my marketing team are scrambling to come up with new assets and a new promo and a new offer to replace the next 10 days of the marketing calendar, because that product was supposed to be the hero of the next 10 days. So you really want to be looking at this stuff weekly or even daily come this time of year when everything's, busy and flying off the shelves. This is something you really don't want to drop the ball on. Track days and weeks of sale so you can project when you are going to sell out of something, so you can create a plan of what to do when it happens, right? If you're going to sell out of something too fast, 1, increase the price on it right away. 2, decrease ad spend to it right away. 3, start to fill your kind of creative backlog, start to fill your marketing calendar, start to fill your offers with other similar products that you are going to need to replace that with. It's December 11th. It's yesterday when I'm recording this. I got behind on recordings. It's been raining for a week, so I can't go outside and record. That's why I'm in here. But we sold out of one of our top selling products a week ago, 2 weeks too early. And we did everything we could to slow it down, but it crushed. But because we knew it was going to happen, we were able to make some adjustments so that we didn't lose a ton of performance. Even though this was our number one selling watch by far, we didn't lose much performance because we had things to replace it with. We knew how we were going to merchandise the website differently to show a product that serves as a good replacement for it. We knew what we were going to do to the price of that product. We knew what we were going to do in our ad account. We only knew all that stuff because we knew it was coming, because we were tracking this. So make sure you're tracking days and weeks of sale. All right, the last thing comes after the sellout. It's pre-selling. This is something we do a lot. That watch I just mentioned is on pre-sale on our website right now. But this can be super beneficial for a business, especially if your supply chain is long and expensive, especially if cash flow is tight. Pre-selling inventory that you don't have yet or isn't done yet or you haven't paid for yet can be a massive advantage, and it can get the COO to love you if you can pull it off. But there's a couple things you need to understand with this. 1, product category matters here. I sell unique handcrafted watches. People are gracious with us when it takes a month to get there. If you sell something that's more of an impulse buy, maybe it's consumable, maybe it's not something as high consideration, people might not have that patience. So product category matters here. But I've seen it done from supplement brands to brands whose AOV is $30 to $300 like ours is. It can work for a lot of you if you execute it correctly. And by executing it correctly, I mean you need to have impeccable and repetitive and borderline obnoxious communication with the customers buying an item that's on pre-sale so that they know they're buying an item that's on pre-sale. Put it on the landing page, put it on the product page, put it on the ad. I think the ad is the best place to do it because it shows some social proof of like, hey, this thing is sold out 4 times already this year. It's on pre-sale now, so get it. It's a lot of third-party credibility there. So put it everywhere. Put it in your post-purchase email flows as well. It should be in the order confirmation immediately that says like, hey, thanks so much for your order of this item blank that's on pre-sale. We are working on finishing it or whatever it is. It'll ship in 3 to 6 weeks or whatever your timeline is. We have pre-sold things out months in advance before, and there's always going to be a handful of people that get pissed about it. But the more you communicate it up front and throughout the purchase journey, the better off you're going to be. So if you're a marketer and you want your COO to love you and you want the company to reach new heights without any internal stress or strife or contention, and I don't mean actual fights, I just mean things not working together as they should be. You need to work on controlling your inventory with your ad spend. You need to track how things are performing according to forecast down to the collection and SKU level. You need to track days and weeks of sale of your best-selling products. And then when you do inevitably sell out of your inventory, because you listen to the Tactical and Practical podcast, so you're great at marketing, so you can sell out whenever you want to. But when you do, you're going to pre-sell your products in a way that is great for the cash flow of your business and doesn't create a bad experience for customers who might have to wait long. So that's what you should be doing to align marketing and ops in your e-com business. I hope this helped. It's a super under-discussed, not even under-discussed, never discussed topic in e-com. I would love to hear from you guys on this, how you have been able to implement this in your business as well. Because like I said, it's one thing that I need to get better at. It's one thing that I think every e-com brand can get better at. So hit me up on Twitter at Nate Lagos. Let me know what you're doing to align marketing and ops in your e-com brand. Shout out to IntelliGems and PostScript again. Make sure you go check them out for all your website testing and SMS platform needs. And I'll see you guys next time on Tactical and Practical to talk about creating alignment between marketing and finance, which is maybe the only episode that's more important than this one. So thanks for listening. See you next week.